So we've been talking about goal setting and rereading your goal setting and creating breakthrough lists in terms of your goals. So here it is about rereading your goals 3 times a day and why it's so important. So once you've written down all your goals, both large and small, the next step of your journey to success is to activate creative powers to take your subconscious mind by reviewing your 2 lists at least 3 times a day. Take time to read your list of goals. Read the list out loud with passion and enthusiasm, if obviously in the appropriate place, or you'll be put away. One goal at a time. Close your eyes and picture each goal as if it all were already accomplished. Take a few more seconds to feel what it'd feel like if you'd already accomplished each goal. Following this daily discipline with success will activate the power within your desires. It increases your what psychologists refer to as structural tension in your brain. This is what your brain wants to close the gap between your current reality and your current vision. And that's why it does it. And it works towards it. By constantly repeating your visualization goal as already achieved, you'll be increasing your structural tension. This will increase your motivation to stimulate your creativity and heighten your awareness of your resources, and you can help achieve your goal as a result of that. Make sure you review your goals at least twice a day, in the morning upon waking and again the night before going to bed. And it's key to keep them at the side of you. Put a list of your goals in a daily planner or calendar system. You can also create a pop-up screensaver on your smartphone, computer or tablet to list your goals and remind you of what you really want. The objective is to keep constantly reminding you of your goals and keep them in front of you. When Olympian decathlon gold medalist Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner, asked a room full of Olympic hopefuls if they had written down their goals, everyone raised their hands. When asked how many of them have actually physically written down their goals at that moment in time, one person raised their hand. That person was Dan O'Brien. Dan O'Brien went on to win the gold medal in the decathlon in 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. Don't underestimate the power of setting goals and constantly reviewing them. So create a goals book. Another powerful way to speed up the achievement of your goals is to create a goals book. Buy a 3-ring binder, a diary or anything, a scrapbook, a journal. Then create a separate page for each of your goals. Write each goal at the top of the page and illustrate with pictures, words and phrases, and then cut out from all the magazines and catalogues and travel brochures that depict your goal as already being achieved. As new goals and desires emerge, simply add them to your list of your goals book. Review the pages of your goals book at least twice a day, every day. So write yourself a check. This is an important story that I came across. In 1990, when Jim Carrey was a struggling Canadian comic trying to make his way in Los Angeles, he drove his Toyota up to the Mulholland Drive. While sitting there, looking at the city below and dreaming of his future, he wrote himself a check for $10 million and dated it Thanksgiving 1995. Adding the notation for acting services rendered, and carried in his wallet from that day forth onwards. The rest of, as they say, is history. Carey's optimism and tenacity eventually paid off, and in 1995, after the huge box office success of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, his asking price had risen to $20 million per movie. When Carey's father died in 1994, he placed a $10 million check into his father's coffin as a tribute to the man who had both started and nurtured his dreams of being a star. Now remember, one goal is just not enough. If you're bored with life, if you don't get up every morning with a burning desire to do things, you don't have enough goals. That's what it comes down to. Lutz Holtz said this phrase. The legendary football coach of Notre Dame is also a legendary goal setter. His beliefs in goal setting comes from a lesson he had learned in 1966 when he was only 28 years old and had just been hired as an assistant coach at the University of South Carolina. His wife Beth was 8 months pregnant with their third child. And Louis had spent every dollar on the down payment of their house. 1 month later, the head coach who had hired Louis resigned, and Louis found himself without a job. In an attempt to lift his spirits, his wife gave him the book Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. It's the first book I've ever read in my early 20s, and that set me on my path to where I am just now. So it's the best book you could probably ever read, The Magic of Thinking Big. The book said that you should write down all your goals that you want to achieve in life. Louis sat at the dining room table, turned his imagination loose, and before he knew it, he had a list of 107 goals he wanted to achieve before he died. These goals covered every area of his life and included having dinner at the White House, appearing on The Tonight Show, meeting the Pope, coaching the Notre Dame, leading his team to a national championship, and shooting a hole-in-one in golf. So far, Louis has achieved 102 of these goals, including shooting a hole not once, but twice. So take the time off to make that list of 101 goals that you want to actually achieve in your life. Write them in vivid detail, noting where and when and how much and which model, size, and so on and so forth that you really want of car, for example. Put them on wee cue cards for yourself, on goals pages, or on a goals book. Every time you achieve a goal, check it off and write the victory to the next one to succeed. And tomorrow we're going to talk about the considerations of the fears and roadblocks in your life that actually stops you from achieving these goals. Most of us won't write down these goals, and the reason why, because we're afraid of success, not really failure. Most people are afraid of success. What happens if I actually succeed in this? What happens if it goes? It's going to be overwhelming for me. And it's the fear of success that often holds us back. It is not the fear of failure. And I'll see you tomorrow.